Okay, hello, I am back. It is early morning and I am on the road again. So I wanted to stop and add a video into the third step lineup to make sure that I talk about the third step prayer. Now, the third step prayer is out of the book Alcoholics Anonymous. I don't know what page it is, 65 maybe? And it's when we make the decision to turn our will and our lives over to the care of God as we understand Him, hopefully a little bit better now because we've made the pros and cons list. And then we have written out the job description. And now I am making a decision to invite this higher power that I have put out this job description for. I'm inviting this higher power to come in and to manage my life. So if my life is unmanageable, I need something greater than myself to manage it. I have written down what I thought was my idea of a higher power. Found out typically that I had some trust issues with it and that I needed to have something bigger than I could understand, but something that I could believe in. And now once I get to that place, and it's just a decision, this is not a discussion, it's a decision. And sometimes I make this decision 300 times a day. Everything is a decision. Am I going to trust that I'm on the road? Is it going to be safe? Is the weather going to be okay? Is the traffic going to be okay? Should I go? Should I not? I ask my higher power to, to lead my thoughts and to guide me. And, I get to depend on this higher power. If I'm going to hire this manager to take care of my life, then I don't want to send it off on vacation and take back all of my affairs, to run again, because we see where that gets us. We saw that in step one in the powerlessness, and we saw it in the unmanageability for certain, and then definitely in the insanity that I keep doing the same thing over and over and expecting it to be different. So hopefully now we're going to be able to believe that there is a power greater than ourselves, that we don't understand what we do believe in. And this is the idea that when I believe it, I'll see it, as opposed to I'll see it when I believe it. And it's not necessarily that you'll see the higher power, but that you'll see how a higher power works in your life when you make a decision to, give it a try. And that's what we're going to do. We're just going to give it a try. And this is a decision, by the way, that only comes, minute by minute, day by day. This is not something that I make for the rest of my life, and that's it. I'm turning my will and my life, which are just my thoughts and my actions, over to the care of this higher power as I understand or don't understand it. So it's just a decision. And when we get to this place, there is a really terrific, I want to stop saying powerful so much, but there's so many parts of this that are so powerful. There's a prayer in the book of Alcoholics Anonymous called the Third Step Prayer. And it goes like this. God, I offer myself to thee to build with me and to do with me as thou wilt. Relieve me of the bondage of self that I may better do thy will. Take away my difficulties, that victory over them may bear witness to those I would help of thy power, thy love, and thy way of life. May I do thy will always. And it says right after that prayer to think about this really carefully, because we want to know, can you utterly abandon yourself to Him? The words in the book of Alcoholics Anonymous, there's some really wonderful words that have a very specific meaning. I'm a big fan of a dictionary or Google to make sure that we look up these words so we understand them. And utterly is a great word to look up. And my New York accent may be hard to understand. I'm saying UTTERLY. I think that's it. And so I like to take this part of the step 3. I like to do this prayer on my knees, in submission to this higher power that I am turning my will and my life, my thoughts and my actions over to. It's just a sign of submission, and it's not. That's not a negative connotation. That is a showing of my bowing to this higher power. I'll tell you what. There's other things that bring people to their knees. I'm talking specifically about alcohol and drugs, but alcohol, that brings you to your knees. So my humility, hopefully, is going to allow me to get on my knees and do this step. Another powerful representation. So if I'm working with somebody else, I like to do it together on our knees, or you can do it on your own. But you will see things begin to change. Now, if you've come this far with me and you have done these steps so far, 1, 2, 3, powerless, unmanageability, insanity, making a pros and cons list of the higher power that you believe in now, before we did that, a job description, and then have officially hired this higher power for the job, then we are ready to do that third step prayer. And if we do that third step prayer, and I always say, if you really mean it, you better sit down and hold on, because your life is about to take off in ways that you could not imagine. A lot of us think, oh, this will help me to just stop drinking, or this will help me to get my life back in order. But there are ways that God has for us that we can't see, and we don't get to see them until we are willing to accept this higher power's help in our lives and guidance, and then turn ourselves over to it and follow God's directions. And this is where we talk about, also in the AA literature, about we allow God to be our director. And I'll probably at some future point go and read some of that literature that is really terrific. And I'm going to have lots of filler videos, I can tell, because I can't remember everything that I've learned or know in these videos, like in chronological order. But this is come to the end of step 3. We do this prayer. And there's no way I could possibly put all this information in. And people always say, like, wow, you have such great things to say. And I say, yeah, I know I do, because I don't have an original thought in my head. I've been doing this for a long time, listening to other people, reading, listening to tapes, sitting in on meetings, listening to people share. And I just, have my own compilation of how it all comes out. But it basically, I don't have an original thought in my head. I steal everything. So that's always good to know, is that this is not me. This is just me channeling all of those places that I've picked up this information from, and found that it works, it helps people, and it's pretty simple and direct. And so this is how I personally work the steps, especially with other people. It's an easy kind of direction to give. So that's it for step 3. And if you've come this far, congratulations, because it just keeps getting better. Talk to you soon, and we will dive deeper onto step 4. Don't be afraid. It's very simple. The directions are really clear, and you will move through it, guaranteed. Stick with me. Bye.